I, Alexandra Gale, am now 34 years old. As I carefully adjust my stylish and functional sports knee brace, I take measured, shallow breaths to center myself. Gently and meticulously performing the exercises prescribed by my dedicated physical therapist, I begin to drift into contemplation of my past experiences. It has been precisely 17 years since I gave up my dream of playing professional basketball. The reason dates back 17 years, when my father fell from scaffolding at a construction site, sustaining a spinal injury that left him unable to walk and stripping our family of its financial backbone. Previously a full-time homemaker, my mother started working at a part-time job. However, that alone was insufficient to support our family. Consequently, I declined a college sports scholarship to seek better paying work in a major city, continuing to support my family from afar. I sent most of my salary to my parents every month, covering my father's medical expenses and our family's living costs. My sister, Hannah, was still in middle school, so I also took on the burden of ensuring she could receive a quality education. For years, I sacrificed my own life for the sake of my family. 6 months ago, I was coaching at a charity basketball tournament at the Chicago YMCA. Teaching these children was a small consolation after giving up my dreams of becoming a professional athlete. That day, due to a shortage of coaches, I found myself actually playing on the court. "Show us more, coach," the children shouted excitedly. As I performed my signature drive and jump shot, a sharp pain shot through my knee upon landing. "It's nothing," I reassured another coach who was present. "Just an old injury acting up." However, by that night, my knee had swollen significantly, and by the next morning, I found it difficult to walk. The doctor's diagnosis was severe. "Ms. Gale, your anterior cruciate ligament is completely torn. This is not a recurrence of an old high school injury, it's a new injury. You will need surgery." Surgery? I was stunned. "But I have a job. I can't take time off." "You have no choice," the doctor responded calmly. "If left untreated, you could develop a walking disability in the future." The room began to spin. Medical bills for my father, support for my mother, preparations for Hannah's wedding. And now, this surgery. The out-of-pocket costs were not insignificant. How long will the recovery take? I tried to calm my voice. "You won't be able to return to work for 1 to 2 weeks after the surgery, and full recovery will take about 6 months, the doctor explained. I nodded silently and informed my family over the phone, assuring them I was fine and could handle all the preparations for the hospital stay on my own. On the day of the surgery, my breathing synchronized with the regular drops of the IV drip. A chill from the floor crept up my back. "Ms. Gale, your temperature is 98 degrees, blood pressure 110/70, all good," a nurse said with a smile, slightly easing my anxiety. "We'll move you to the surgery room in about 30 minutes. My smartphone vibrated with a call from my mother. "Alexandra, I'm sorry I can't be there. I can't leave your father alone." Her voice was filled with regret. "But I will definitely call you once the surgery is over." In the hallway, the sounds of doctors and nurses bustling, other patients' families talking and laughing, contrasted with the silence in my room. "It's okay, Mom," I tried to sound cheerful. "I can handle it alone. It's nothing new." After hanging up, I stared at the hospital bed ceiling. Alone, as always, whether it was when I injured my Achilles tendon during a high school basketball game, on graduation day, or celebrating my first promotion. It's always just me. Strong big sister, reliable Alexandra. They assumed I'm always independent. The nurse returned to check my IV. "Ms. Gale, is your family coming?" she asked kindly. No, I maintained my composure. But it's okay. I'm used to it. She looked at me with sympathetic eyes but said nothing. I had always been expected to be strong, never allowed to show my own weaknesses as the family's pillar. This surgery and recovery period were no exceptions. How's the pain? Tyler, my physical therapist, asked over a video call, carefully observing my movements. It's better than yesterday, I responded. But it's still hard to fully bend it. Recovery from the anterior cruciate ligament reconstruction surgery takes time. Take it easy, especially since you tend to push yourself too hard when you're on your own, he advised. I laughed in response. That's just my nature. After ending the call, I took a sip of coffee and looked at my smartphone screen. There was an unread message from my sister, Hannah. Alexandra, the wedding preparations are all set. Did you receive the invitation? It's on June 10th. Make sure you come. I smiled, looking forward to Hannah and Daniel's wedding more than anything. It was just a month away. I felt genuine joy at the thought of being part of one of the most important moments in her life, especially after the challenging months of surgery and recovery that I had been through. Of course. I'll be there, Hannah. I'm looking forward to it, I replied. Then, I moved to the office space in my home. The computer screen displays a folder labeled Hannah and Daniel, Home Renovation Plans. I check the renovation company's quote and prepare the bank transfer, smiling contentedly. Hannah and Daniel plan to live with my parents after their marriage. Even though my father's condition is stable, having young people nearby is reassuring. I had prepared $50,000 for the renovation costs to expand their living space, intending it as a start to my sister's new life and a repayment for my parents' years of support. Suddenly, my smartphone rings again. It's from my best friend, Olivia. Alexandra, have you seen Hannah's video? No, I've been busy. What happened? Olivia's voice carries urgency. Hold on, I'll send you the link. Seconds later, Olivia sent me a link. It was to Aunt Jenny's Instagram account. As I scroll through, my heart nearly stops. There are photos and videos of Hannah's wedding posted. Hannah in a white dress, Daniel in a tuxedo, smiling parents, family, and friends in group photos. The post was from last weekend. What does this mean? I forget to breathe. Alexandra, you said Hannah's wedding is in June, right? Olivia's voice was a mixture of shock and anger. The invitation I received said June 10th. I finally managed to speak. Why? This is awful. Why would Hannah do this? Olivia is at a loss for words too. My hands tremble. It isn't June 10th. The wedding had already taken place. And I was not invited. Alexandra, are you okay? Olivia's concerned voice comes through the phone. I don't know. I managed to say. I can't understand why Hannah wouldn't invite me. Alexandra, I'm coming over, Olivia says immediately. I'll be there in 30 minutes. I hang up, unable to respond, filled with confusion and pain. I start to question what I mean to my family. That evening, in my apartment's living room, Olivia sits with a glass of wine in her hand. I've called my family several times, but no one has answered. I don't understand, I repeat. Hannah and I are sisters. I've done everything for her. You are an incredible sister, Olivia gently says. Do you remember how you paid for Hannah's college tuition? You've also continued to pay for your dad's medical bills, allowing her to lead her own life. I stare out the window. Maybe that's the problem. I've always been the strong sister, the responsible sister. Maybe I was only needed as a supporter, not as a family member. The next day, I decided to visit my parents' house. Arriving at the old two-story home, my heart races. It's an unannounced visit. I take a deep breath and knock on the door. My mother, Kathy, opens it. Surprise spreads across her face. Alexandra. Are you all right? Why? Why are you standing here? What are you talking about, Mom? I ask, confused. Of course I'm okay. Rehab is going well. My mother looks at me incredulously and hugs me tightly. Come in. Why didn't you call ahead after coming all this way alone? I'll make some coffee. There is no sign of guilt in her expression, just joy and surprise. It seems she doesn't know anything yet. In the living room, my father, sitting in a wheelchair, is by the window. Who is it, Kathy? He asks, turning around. It's Alexandra. My mother says. My father's face lights up when he sees me. What? Alexandra? He hurries his wheelchair towards me. You're supposed to be in the hospital, aren't you? Hospital? Why? At that moment, Hannah and Daniel emerge from the kitchen, clearly having been preparing some snacks, glasses in hand. Hannah stops in her tracks when she sees me, her glass tilting slightly, and her face was drained of all colors. Alexandra. Her voice trembles. The moment Daniel sees me, his glass falls from his hand to the floor and shatters. Alexandra? Is it really you? His voice is also shaking. How? Why? You were. Hannah stands frozen, her face completely pale, eyes wide with fear, lips trembling. I look at her intently. Nice to meet you, Daniel. I came because I wasn't invited to my sister's wedding. A heavy silence falls over the room. What? My mother says, confused. What are you talking about, Alexandra? You were not invited? My father leans forward, perplexed. What does this mean? Hannah's eyes darted from Daniel to me and then to our parents in panic. I found out from Aunt Jenny's Instagram, I say quietly. The wedding video. It was last weekend. But the wedding date you told me about was on June 10th. What? My mother stands up. Hannah, what is this? Daniel looks confused, glancing between his wife and me. Alexandra was in critical condition. And the doctors hadn't allowed any visitors. He stops, slowly realizing the truth. Hannah backs away. Was Alexandra in a critical condition? My father asked sternly. We hadn't heard that she was in a critical condition. Anger and confusion spread across Daniel's face. Hannah, did you lie? Right before the wedding, you said Alexandra's condition had worsened. We were praying for you every day. You had complications after the surgery, and suddenly you couldn't be discharged. Hannah, that's what you said, right? That the doctors were limiting family visits. I was shaking with disbelief and anger. Hannah, can you explain? Did you tell your husband I was dying? And told our parents that my discharge was delayed because of complications? Hannah is speechless, just standing there, her guilt and fear filling the room. Explain yourself. My father raises his voice. His usually calm voice now trembles with anger. Finally, Hannah speaks. Daniel and I moved the wedding date up. We wanted a small ceremony. Why didn't you tell Alexandra? My mother demands. Hannah struggles for words. Just say it, I urge calmly. They have a right to know the truth. Hannah finally begins to spill everything. I didn't want all the attention on Alexandra. I was afraid her story would ruin my wedding. What? What do you mean by that? Daniel's face shows disbelief. It's about Alexandra's knee surgery, Hannah says quickly. Everyone would be concerned about Alexandra's recovery, calling her brave Alexandra or self-sacrificing Alexandra. I didn't want my special day to be all about her surgery and rehabilitation. The room falls silent. It's always been like this. Alexandra is strong and dependable, always praised, especially when relatives gather. She gets all the attention. Daniel looks at Hannah with a shocked expression. Is that the real reason? You lied about your sister being on her deathbed for that? Disgust is evident in his voice. He distances himself from his wife and approaches me. Alexandra, I truly apologize. I had no idea. On the day of the wedding, all I thought about was you. I had told Hannah we'd go to the hospital right after the ceremony. Hannah. My mother's voice trembles. You lied to us. We couldn't make a scene right before the ceremony, so we believed what you said. We were telling people at the venue who asked about Alexandra that she couldn't be discharged unexpectedly. My mother continued. Even afterwards, when we tried to get in touch, you kept telling us that Alexandra was still weak and resting. When I asked you to contact me because my phone was broken, you said it would still take a while. My father looks at Hannah with deep disappointment. Hannah, why would you do this? We are family. I stand up quietly, filled with sadness and disappointment. Hannah, I had saved $50,000 for you. It was for the renovation of the house you were going to live in with our parents. I pull out my smartphone, open the banking app, and show them the screen. A transfer reservation labeled Hannah and Daniel Renovation Fund for $50,000 is displayed. But now, I tap the cancel button on the application. I can't do it anymore. Hannah's face goes pale. No. Please, Alexandra, we need that money. Daniel and I just took out a mortgage. That's your problem, Daniel interjects. Hannah, I'm disappointed that you would do this. He turned to me. I'm sorry, Alexandra. You have supported the family all this time, and to be treated this way. I should have noticed sooner. Daniel started walking towards the door. Hannah, we need to rethink this. The way you've treated your sister is unacceptable. Hannah panicked. Daniel, wait. She follows him. A heavy silence hangs in the room. Alexandra. My mother said with tearful eyes. I didn't know. I know, Mom, I respond gently. But this is an issue between Hannah and me. I thought she appreciated and respected me after all I've sacrificed for her over the years. My father maneuvers his wheelchair closer. Alexandra, I know how much you've sacrificed. Since my accident, you haven't really enjoyed your youth. Your dreams, basketball. Dad, that's in the past, I say, holding his hand. I don't regret it. I did it because I wanted to for our family. But Hannah. My father trails off. Hannah made her choices, I said quietly. And now, I'm making mine. At the end of the week, I was having breakfast with Olivia at a cafe. My smartphone was vibrating incessantly. Still from Hannah? Olivia asked. I nodded. It seems she and Daniel are having problems. He's shocked by her actions and has temporarily moved back to his parents' house. She's been apologizing to me, talking about money. What are you going to do? I thought for a moment. I'm not going to give her the money. This isn't just about material things, it's about trust and respect. Wise decision. Olivia took a sip of her coffee. How do you tell if Hannah really wants to repair the relationship, or if she just wants the money? I'll take my time, I answered slowly. If she truly wants to change, it will become clear over time, I thought to myself as I did my knee rehabilitation exercises, watching the sunset spread through the window. My smartphone rang again. This time, it was Daniel. Alexandra, may I speak with you? I replied. Of course. First, I want to apologize for Hannah's actions. I was complicit in her lie, believing you were critically ill. I am truly sorry. I took a moment before replying. You were deceived, Daniel. The responsibility lies with Hannah. Yes. We are taking some time apart now. Her actions go against my values, he continued. But I do love her. She has her good qualities. Just sometimes, she can be jealous. I finished for him. She has been like that since we were children. Whenever I got attention for sports, she would sulk. Yes. If you understand that. I'm trying to talk to her. If she truly regrets and tries to mend things with you. I exhaled deeply. Daniel, you're a good person. Hannah needs to show genuine remorse and change her actions. If she's really trying to change, I intend to keep an open mind. A month later, after my physical therapy, I was working on my laptop at a cafe. Excuse me, a voice interrupted, and when I looked up, Hannah was standing there. She looked thinner than usual, with tired eyes. May I sit here? She asked in a soft voice. I nodded slightly bewildered and gestured to the chair opposite me. Silence spread between us. Have you spoken to Daniel? I finally asked. Hannah nodded. He told me to reflect on my actions and think about what really matters in life. She smiled slightly. His words were similar to what you always told me. I said nothing, waiting for her to continue. He's disappointed in me. For how I treated you. I listened silently. But that's not all, Hannah continued. We had just taken out a loan for the renovations, and now I have no way to pay it. Daniel and I took out the loan together, but since he left, he has refused to make payments. She pulled a folded paper from her handbag. Look at this. It was a debt summary, the renovation loan, wedding expenses, and loans for new furniture and appliances they had purchased. I handed the paper back to her. What are you planning to do? I found a second job, Hannah said. I decided to work at a restaurant on weekends. And I've canceled the new furniture, limiting the renovations to the minimum. I looked at her resolve with a bit of admiration. Alexandra, I really am sorry, Hannah met my gaze. Not inviting you to my wedding was the biggest mistake of my life. I hurt you out of jealousy and selfishness. And now, I am paying for it. Hannah, I said slowly. Did you come here because you're in debt, or do you really feel sorry? Both, she answered honestly. At first, I panicked about the money, indeed. But these past few weeks, I've really thought about everything you've done for me, and how I treated you, she continued. And when I learned about the $50,000, Hannah choked up. I realized how much you were thinking of us. I listened quietly, looking for genuine signs of remorse. I was probably always jealous of you, Hannah went on. You were always strong, responsible, and respected by everyone. I just wanted to be the main character for once. To step out of your shadow. Hannah, I never wanted to be the main character, I said slowly. I just wanted to support the family, especially after Dad's accident. I know, Hannah nodded. Now I understand. Daniel. He made me realize a lot about what I've done and how much you've sacrificed for our family. Hannah said as she pulled an envelope from her purse. This is just a small start. She placed it on the table. I opened the envelope and looked inside. It was $150. It's part of my paycheck, Hannah explained. I plan to pay you back little by little each month. I'm not sure if I can ever return the full $50,000. Hannah, I'm not rejecting you because of the money, I said. I know, Hannah responded. But this is my way of showing I'm serious. Not just with words, but with actions. I thought for a moment. It will take time, Hannah. Trust is hard to regain once it's lost. I understand, Hannah stood up. But I won't give up. No matter how long it takes, I want to regain your trust. I took a deep breath. Hannah, I can't forgive you yet. But I looked at her. If you're truly trying to change, I'll keep an open mind. I couldn't ask for more, Hannah smiled slightly. Thank you, Alexandra. I took a sip of my coffee. I'm planning to have dinner at our parents' house next month. If you'd like. Would you come? Hannah's face brightened. Really? It's a small step, I said. It's a long road, but we're family. A month later, I was having dinner at our parents' house. Hannah arrived late. She seemed tired from coming straight from work, but she appeared more relaxed than before. Sorry I'm late, she said, greeting everyone. It's no problem at all, my mother said. We were just starting to eat. During dinner, Hannah talked about her second job and how she and Daniel were gradually reconciling. Although they had been close to divorcing, Daniel had given her a chance. After the meal, we sat in the garden. My father talked about his new treatment, and my mother shared some neighborhood gossip. It looked like a normal family gathering. However, doubts about Hannah still lingered in my mind. When Hannah went back inside to help my mother, my father turned to me. Alexandra, she's really trying to change, he said quietly. I know, Dad, I replied. But regaining trust takes time. Of course, my father nodded. But thank you for giving her a chance. On my way home that night, I looked up at the starry sky. Hannah might be trying to change. She seemed to be making an effort to repay her debts, mend her relationship with Daniel, and repair our bond. I couldn't fully trust her yet, but at least I could give her a chance. As time goes by, I'll be able to see whether she has truly changed or is simply cornered by her circumstances. For now, I continue to observe her actions, hoping she will show me her determination through deeds, not just words.